Hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? We are super excited to be here. My name is Kai. I am a creative director in the marketing space. I worked at Rolling Stone and a few other companies as well. But really heavy into the music space only because I'm married to the guy on the end, and he is deep into the music space and so has brought me with it from a marketing integration perspective. So if we all want to go through and introduce ourselves, and then we can get into our topic at hand.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Adrien Stern. Used to run an indie record label, a reggae label, out of Switzerland for a couple years, and then discovered blockchain in, I guess, 2014, and started building in the space in 2016. And today, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Reveal, and we're building tools for Web3 creators, as well as like analytics tools so they can better understand what success means to them. So excited to talk about success in the space on this panel.
Richard Brownstein, quick background. I'm degreed in music and electrical engineering. Started off as a recording engineer in New York City for about 10, 12 years. Some gold, platinum albums, and I saw the music business change, got involved with finance and asset management, and bought and sold the business. For the next 28 years, built a company, about $500 million under management, sold it to get involved with blockchain with MIT, and went into this venture world, and it's kind of a ride. So my version is to try to marry music with technology and finance, and that's where I play.
I'm back. I'm Reason. I'm a multi-platinum producer, engineer. Yeah, and I'm just here to talk. I got roped into this by my wife. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right, so in terms of success in music NFTs, it's a term that is thrown around so very much, and there is not one definition of it. And so what we wanted to dig into today is what that may mean in this space and how that can be different based on your goals as an artist or a brand that's incorporating music NFTs into what you do. So Adrien, if you want to start first in regards to some of your thoughts around success in the NFT music space, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think we're such at an early stage, right? And everyone always says this, it's so early, but it's true. And so the definition of success, I think, is very unique to each creator. We see artists who are entering the space just to, explore what NFTs are about, and figuring that out is a version of success. And then there are more advanced creators who are there to, create a deeper relationship with their community or monetize that community, and therefore, the dollars or ether or whatever, cryptocurrency they're trying to bring in might be the criteria for success. So I think that the range of what success might be is very broad today.
Yeah, when I think of success, I think what drove me into this business to begin with, when I was doing the work as a recording engineer, all of my friends were musicians, and I had the privilege of working with some really major acts. But when I saw the whole music industry change when MIDI came in, my heart went out to my musician friends, like, how are they really going to keep making money? So what drives me for success is to figure out a way to help the rights holders of this music, because I saw Napster come in and just decimate all of my friends' income, to be able to figure out a way to help them really get paid again, or access to capital so they could really forward their career. So I work in that world to try to make that happen.
Amazing. Reason?
I think for me, success is how an artist can go beyond outside of their normal Web 2, Spotify and Apple Music. I think using NFTs to give like a different type of outreach to a different community, as well as bring value to what they're doing beyond the Web 2 space, is success, right? Getting onboarded, getting people in, as well as getting community built around that NFT.
Yeah.
Can I add to all that?
Absolutely.
I think there's perhaps another level of success, more at an industry level. And part of the promise of the technology of blockchain is this idea of disintermediation. And I think success can also be defined in those terms of allowing creators to own the relationship to their fans and not have to go through all the intermediaries that we usually see in the traditional music industry. So being able to build that relationship, I think, is a form of success. And minimizing the power of some of these middlemen is also at least one idea of success.
100%. And I'm sorry if there are any music industry folks in here, but it is a corrupt space. Traditional music industry, record labels are corrupt. You, as as a creative, as an artist, as a musician, you're restricted from what you can do, from what your music needs to sound like, from how you want to market it, who you should be, who you should play from a public perspective. And at the end of the day, the artist is not making the money they should be making off of their version of what music and creative freedom is to them. And so for me, being from that marketing space, I have seen firsthand how industries, marketing agencies, we manipulate artists. They're manipulated in this space because the agencies and these record labels want to be able to control every aspect of them. Web3 is putting that control back in the musician's hands, back in the artist's hands. And for me, that is really what success is. It doesn't matter if you sell out your entire NFT collection or you make millions of this in this space, but if you have that creative freedom back in your control, for me, that's what success is in this new space from a Web3 perspective.
Yeah, holding rights holders is the key right there.
Yep.
There's about $500 million in a fund that just hasn't been paid out to the rights holders because they don't know who to pay. And that's one of the projects actually that we're involved with, which is the ability to marry the metadata, who owns it, who are the rights holders, to the music itself, so that when you start to move these pieces around and do remixes and so forth, you actually know who to pay. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big, big deal. And there's two approaches, actually, I've seen. One of them as a layer one concept where you can do that, and the other is sort of like a hub and a spoke. So for instance, you've got on one side, company A wants to acquire a catalog of company B, but their metadata doesn't line up because they have their own version of it. And so having a hub in the center as sort of like the traffic cop to make sure all that high friction information from one to the other gets transferred properly. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, it's a reason. Sorry, you're
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more freedom and control in the same sense in this space, and I think that really helps to play into the strategies that different artists take in this exact realm and what makes sense to them for how they want to release their music or how they want to speak to their community, because not every artist is going to have every fan be a diehard fan, and so you're able to utilize these NFTs to reward them on different bases. You can reward those diehard fans with, of course, the concert tickets, but they can also go backstage with you in the studio, help kind of executive produce or create your NFT.
Hi, guys.
Hey!
Hey.
What's up?
Sorry, traffic is nasty.
No, you good?
All over to you. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, y'all. I'm Latashá, singer, songwriter, rapper, producer, and head of community at Zora. Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
Give it up. Give it up.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello.
Latashá,
you, guys.
we were just speaking about success in music NFTs, and we'd love to hear your thoughts from being an artist and just everything you're doing in this space of what success in this space means to you.
Yeah, I mean, NFTs have completely transformed my life. I've been doing music for about 7, maybe almost more years now, and being in the music industry, it was really complicated, I'll say, especially as a woman rapper, to receive the ethos that you want to receive and energy that you want to receive from these labels and these communities within the music industry. And so when I found NFTs, I found the ability to be like my fullest self and fully be creative and own my work. And I got in February 2021, and I minted my first music video in that day, February 2021. And then it sold in 3 minutes. And
Yeah.
that literally made me feel like my energy was being met with what I was giving.
Yes.
And then I just kept running. And I was
Yes.
like, let's do this some more. And I became the first woman rapper on blockchain that day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I also became the first to bring music videos with another homie named Greg Newman. And that was really amazing because you guys know YouTube, and you know YouTube not really paying.
Facts.
So, and music videos cost a lot of money for artists to create and market and utilize. So, you know, that really transformed things for us. And in a summer, I made what a record deal would have given me without giving away my
Amazing.
copyright or masters or anything.
Yes.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Bravo.
Thank you.
We can all leave now.
No, don't leave. We got more to talk about.
You know, I want to jump in on something you said. You said that the videos are expensive to make, and agreed. And so the part of my mission to create success is to be able to help musicians make their videos, do what they need to do. How do they get capital? They really haven't got an avenue to go get capital. It doesn't work. Banking, financial institutions just don't work, and we're all in agreement with that. So one of the things that we're looking at is how can I take streaming data from like Spotify or from YouTube and turn that into a structure for underwriting loans. And in other words, take that loan and give it to the musician, but on the back side of that, use decentralized finance to leverage up to make it almost like a very low cost loan or a self-paying loan, right? And so we've got that solution actually, but the issue becomes, talking about success and what we're bumping into are regulatory issues. Right. Whenever you try to distribute dollars through to an NFT, you've got the problem of unlicensed securities, right? Unregistered securities. But we actually put together an NFT that's regulatory compliant to be able to do that. So to help to create success for musicians, and that's part of the mission.
I have a question about that then. I guess for us, a lot of the musicians question regulation. And a lot of us are also thinking about the disruption and like what this could equate to for the revolution of finance, et cetera, et cetera. So what do you think is going to be the best approach for us to like balance that out? Where there's a side of revolution and then there's a side of we gotta like maintain the structures that be.
That's a good question.
You wanna handle that?
That's a good question. No, you got it.
You know, the whole idea of disruptive technology is what you really, in my opinion, you want to avoid. Okay, no one wants to be disrupted. Okay, the banking and finance world wants to embrace the financial technology, and they've turned more into technology firms than they are banking firms, quite frankly. So you've got to take some small steps and work with the industry. And therefore, you've got to embrace that. That's the embraceable part that needs to be defined. And you got small steps.
Yeah, no, I'm going to add to that from a different perspective. And Latashá, we've gone back and forth on some tweets about that. But I think one aspect that's really interesting is who are the creators that you can bring into the splits, into NFTs, right? Because part of how a lot of creators get paid is they're not maybe not the main artist, right? They're a songwriter, they're the producer, et cetera. And part of the beauty of NFTs and what we're seeing a lot is that creators are bringing in different types of collaborators into the splits, right? Sometimes the mixing engineer, or sometimes the graphic designer, right? Which graphic designer would get royalties on an album, right, or vinyl that cover that they did, and so I think that's such a beautiful aspect of where the technology and the culture is going. That is a new shift, right? I would love to hear how you're approaching that aspect of things.
Yeah, whoa, I got all the questions now. Well, when we got into Web3, I came with a community. I came with my partner and my two best friends. My partner is a 3D animator and filmmaker. His name is Ja. He's amazing. And then my two best friends are filmmakers and photographers. So we all kind of squatted up. I'm the musician of the camp. And so we made music videos together, et cetera, et cetera. and what we promised ourselves was that we were going to split this evenly. Like, everyone is a part of this mission, and that's how you kind of create your own worlds out of this, right? Now we don't need a label to bring in those people. We could actually hire out those people that are within our communities, right? And create, I don't want to call them labels, but our own agencies to create agency. And so that's what we've been doing, and just really pushing that agenda to be fair, to really share out the way you're supposed to, because for so many years we haven't received those kind of benefits, and now we have the opportunity to show that through smart contract.
I think it's such an important point, because I know just being with Reason and him being a producer on some of the biggest records that are on the radio, and having to fight for his simple percentage, which he should get because he's created the entire production, and they're like, you get 2%. What do you mean? Without the production, it wouldn't be a song. And I think what is so nice about this Web3 space is it is community driven, and so you don't have the greed of these larger record labels yet interrupting it. And I really hope it's something that artists in the Web3 space can hold really true to them, because being community built, it's a lot easier to make sure that it's being split fair with the team, and you're not having people that literally had nothing to do with the creation of some of the top records getting the largest chunk of it. I'm so sick of seeing that. We got to put the money back where it actually deserves to go.
Right.
Yeah, and I think what's amazing about what the technology is enabling, there are a couple of companies doing that. Reveal is one of them, is that, you know, creators can now build their own smart contract that has the logic on how to redistribute the funds that are going through it, right? Be it revenue from a specific NFT collection. We've got some artists who are creating like shared tip jars for like metaverse shows. But when they create that smart contract, they own that smart contract, right? It's like if you were the owner of ASCAP, right? And like all those funds were being processed in a way that you didn't need to rely on and trust that organization to do that redistribution in a timely manner. And
That part.
Yeah, the timely matter part, right? And so the fact that you can automate, you know, the way people are being paid out in a totally trustless way is, I think, is mind-blowing for, you know, for artists who are songwriters and producers and session musicians, et cetera.
Record labels should be shaking.
They should
Truly.
be.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to be careful on that. I think you know, what I had mentioned, record labels want to be able to pay the artists. They want to be able to do all these things, but they're just feeling that they can't. There's so much legacy work. There's so much friction inside those organizations. So the blockchain technology is going to allow them to move more quickly and, you know, to get people paid faster. But it's a long road to an enterprise to make that happen.
The problem with the music industry is mainly that they just are too slow to evolve to the technology, and I think a lot of it has to be done with hiring people who understand the technology. Almost like what Adidas did, right, with their whole drop, right? They did this drop where they actually had people come in and do research and knew what they were getting into and knew how to distribute, you know, that got people involved into the community. And I think that's how you do that. That get these bigger bigger labels and people into that is by bringing in people that understand the technology and how to do it.
Yeah, and I also think people that understand culture and story
Facts.
and history, because what we're also witnessing within the music industry is that there is a lot of marginalized communities that are pretty much caught up in the complications of the systems, right? And racism, classism, sexism, all the things. And so what I'm also witnessing within like the music NFT space and Web3 space is that so many artists with different stories and backgrounds and cultures and identities are finding homes and communities and niches that they never would have found before. And the music industry, that they should be shaken for, because I'm pretty sure that's the future. And so if the music industry doesn't take on to that future quick enough, we're gonna be caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To add to that, the word community and members, I don't think there's a larger community than just target the younger people. I'm the OG, the old guy, right? So targeting the younger people, it's normal and just natural to have huge fan bases for the artists. I don't necessarily see the same dynamic and fan base for a graphic artist, the visual artist. So you've got incredible membership that's really wanting to do something and unite and be connected with the artist. And I don't think that happens the same way on visual. So I think we've got a huge opportunity. Even though we had a slow start, I think it's a huge opportunity to move forward much faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And the technology is only getting better, and smarter people are starting to understand the technology a lot more. So, yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Amazing. Yeah, it's really interesting because in terms of record labels, it seems as if they almost look for artists that fit into a specific box. They want to look for someone that's unique, but does X, Y, and Z and checks all those boxes. But with this space, you can be an artist how you want to be. You don't have to fit. Someone doesn't have to approve who you are as a package or who they can mold you to be as a package. You get to create what you want, how you want. And that's the magic of this entire space.
Yeah, I think, a lot of us have been living off of vanity metrics, right? We've been having to equate to TikTok, Instagram, and live off of the algorithm. And that's all AI based, right? That's all homogenized information of like who is listening to this song. And that's a question on resources. That's a question on like who has Instagram, TikTok, all those things. And they are the ones actually getting to push where the music and art is getting, revealed to the world. And that's a big problem. And I really think that Web3 is going to change that, because the more and more people see that this is actually a place where people could be their fullest selves and like tell their story the way they want to tell it. They won't feel like they have to rely on TikTok and IG and things. No beef to TikTok and IG if you're here, but they won't feel like they have to rely on that. They could rely back into their art and be their fullest selves through that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No, I was going to say, I think what's really interesting about that is, and to tie it back to the idea of what is success in the space, I think we're bringing back more qualitative ways of measuring the relationship that artists are having with their fans and what success is in general, right? And it's not just about the numbers and how many million streams you have, but it's also about the quality of that relationship with your fans that allows you to actually succeed in the space. And shifting that from quantitative to qualitative is actually an amazing opportunity, I think, for artists. So that shift in how we define success is super interesting.
Yeah.
Since we've got about a minute left, maybe we should just let everyone know how they can contact us.
Yeah, absolutely. You can, of course, catch me after. I'm on Twitter at CityGoneWoods. I also dropped a free mint soul project, so if you're interested, let me know. It's minting right now. Happy to always share. So yeah, CityGoneWoods on Twitter.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Adrien Stern on Twitter. Pretty simple. And if any of you are creators in the space, you want to come by an open studio session this evening, we're going to be at Quad Recording Studio. So drop by, come drop a verse. Looking forward to meet you all.
On Twitter, I can be reached at Sound Advice Rich, and my web address is richard.brownstein@elantris.com.
On Twitter, I'm R__Z___N. I couldn't get
a lot of underscores.
Couldn't get a regular username, so sorry.
I'm Latashá, and on Twitter, I'm at Call Me Latashá, Latasha. And if you guys want to, get involved in things I'm doing Zoratopia this Thursday at Knockdown Center. So
Give it
pull
up.
up. It's going to be really amazing. And I have a new music video on auction at digitaldiaspora.xyz. So
Get it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Right on. Right on.